this is an imager, but I have a number of switches. So that makes this...
Well, you're number 7, right?
Yes. I put like 777? Oh, okay. I feel like I don't quite have enough information. This might not be the right room. Wall chamber. 7 switches. That's 3 numbers, so that probably is, and it also is, that's a safe. So.
Yep, now you're thinking with portals.
That has a time on it.
Clock does generally have time on it, yes.
Okay. So. It's 12:15. Is it 12:15? Tough time. I'm used to digital clocks.
Well, that's all from this Let's Play.
I'm gonna say that is 12:15.
You can say whatever you like.
Or is it 1:15? Because that's the problem. I can't really see. No, it's 1:15. Okay.
I mean, you can always come back and see if the time's changed a bit later.
1:15. Anything else?
There's a tree.
There is a tree.
I'll narrate it for you again if you like.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Right, that's.
Have a thing for dentists?
I don't have a thing for dentists. It's a bit, yeah. Oops.
But you do enjoy sitting in that chair.
I did not mean to do that.
Do you just like the sound it makes when you pull it down?
Yeah. Okay, this is, I think, the imager. Oops.
So then, if this is the imager, then the question is, how do you use the number 7 with this?
Yeah.
It's very neat and tidy of you to reset the switches.
You never know. Well, I would say July, maybe?
Okay. That's 7. You might be a few digits short.
Yeah.
Unless it is the 7th of the 7th of the 7th, that's like 7 AM.
Well.
Don't do it. Just
Oh,
just slide.
Slide.
For the love of all that is good.
But now I really want to, just to make you squirm. Okay. Nothing. Okay.
Well, it clearly did something.
Well, it zzzed.
That might mean something. This is Myst. Everything is like, it's doing another thing. That's a very small thing.
Sorry. Let's put 7. Okay. Enter the number of marker switches on this island into the imager to retrieve my message. Okay. Oh.
many calculators.
May I borrow a calculator?
What exactly does you wish to calculate?
7 divided by 4.
Okay. What exactly is your logic here?
Put in the numbers.
So 7 marker switches divided by 4 controls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's probably not gonna be it.
I will entertain this whimsy. I will
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, okay.
So 1.75.
1.75. Okay, so it's not gonna work because these don't divide by 2. So that's stupid idea. Right. Okay.
It wasn't stupid. It was an idea.
That's true.
It might have been correct, but that is the glory of these games. You have to be wrong many times before you are right.
Let's just put 7 in each one individually and see if that does anything.
Really changing every single one does something, because the screen's moved every single time, right?
Yeah. But to what? Or is it 7 PM?
Wow, 12-hour clock. I think Atrus would be a 24-hour clock person myself.
Uh-huh. That did nothing.
It did. It moved the thing again.
Yes. But where?
Aren't you happy with the thing moving?
No! I needed to tell me things!
It is. It's telling you speckles of dust. Maybe it's dirty. Just give it a good wipe.
Uh-huh.
That might not be a game mechanic. Again, very tidy. You
Yeah,
need to
I am
put all
very
the switches
tidy,
back
yeah,
where
yeah.
they came from. Just in case someone comes in and says, "Who's been fiddling with my chair?"
Okay, I think I need to do something. I think I might be on the wrong line of thought there.
Well, the note says to find the image next to the dock, right?
Yes.
So maybe you should start your search there. Welcome to Myst. Trust me, everyone in the audience is right there with you.
Stupid secret rooms.
You started the game standing right next to it.
Yeah, I thought it was just a weird edge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is an imager.
A nice button. Right, there we go.
Bits. Oh, there's a note. Settings dimensional imager, typography extrusion test 40, marker switch diagram 47, water turbulent pool 67.
That would have been useful.
40, 47, 67.
And you've gone to the extent of creating a very big holographic, like, projector thing, and you couldn't even be bothered to put your piece of paper on square.
Oh, I forgot which one was which. Oh,
Literally
too
just
late.
wrote down the numbers.
Too late. Well, which one was the imaging? It was 67 for the imaging thing. Settings, dimensional imager, typographical extrusion.
Topographical
test.
extrusion.
Marker switch diagram. 47.
Another switch. Does that count toward how many switches you have to put in?
8. Oh, does it? Oh. Okay, 8 question mark with hollow switch. Okay, hollow switch. And what was it? Typographical extrusion test. Yeah. Doesn't really do anything.
So it does. It shows you the topographical extrusion.
Okay. But I need to put the number of switches in somewhere. Unless this is not the right place. Again.
Are you trying to throw the switch on the hologram?
I'm trying
I saw that.
Okay, it was, yeah. So, anything else? Okay.
Only a party.
Okay, I can't find anywhere to enter a number in here, so I'm going to come out.
Well, do you want to reread the note? I think you can walk up there. No, maybe you can jump down the hill, you just can't walk up it. I've left for you a message of utmost importance in our forechamber beside the knock. Enter the number of mark switches on this island into the imager to retrieve the message.
Into the imager. So...
That's dangerous. Whoa! You can just jump off ledges, stand on doors, and then open them. What sort of action hero do you think you are?
I'm a, you know... Ooh, where am I going? So, if I just put in... here... Okay, maybe it does count towards the number.
That or you counted wrong.
Let's try H.
Kathryn, my love, I have to leave quickly. Something terrible has happened. It's hard for me to believe. Most of my books have been destroyed. Kathryn is one of our sons. I suspect Agonar, but I shouldn't leap to conclusions. I'll find him and Cirrus as well. Oh, I should have known better than to have left my library unchecked for so long. Well, I've removed the remaining undamaged books from the library and placed them in their places of protection. You shouldn't have to use the books until I return, but if you've forgotten the access keys, remember the tower rotation. Oh, and don't worry, Kathryn, everything will be fine. I'll see you shortly. Oh, and erase this message after you've viewed it, just to be safe.
Okay.
Oh dear. Does that mean Kathryn forgot to erase the message? Or Kathryn never saw it?
Dun dun dun. Are we not Kathryn?
It could be Kathryn.
It could be Kathryn. I mean, I'm Kathryn, so...
Well, you better go erase the message then.
How?
That's the next puzzle. Right? No, please don't do it.
Okay. Right,
you had me worried there. You started going off looking for another place to put that number in. I was like, you...
So basically, the books are all in their places of protection, which I'm assuming is around here somewhere. And to remember the tower rotation.
Well, you've rotated the tower already.
Yes. That's it. There's nothing.
Now that you've been around the island, because you've now seen everywhere that there is to go on the island, how are you feeling?
I can't quite piece everything. Everything is kind of separate. I'm not quite sure how to begin piecing stuff together.
You did. You found the note.
Ooh.
Yeah, sure.
It has been a while since I have heard only silence, and I enjoy it greatly. I think for some reason I do not feel altogether welcome in this new world in which I have arrived. But how could I be unwelcome in an age with no inhabitants? It is, of course, only in my head. This world is very beautiful, but I think I have yet to ever write in a journal that an age
Age.
I have inked to as horrid or disgusting. That made any sense.
But I think I've yet to ever write in a journal that an age I have linked to is horrid or disgusting.
From the grassy hill where I am standing, I can see green fields below, along with a few scattered forests. A rather large lake looms some distance from where I am standing, yet the water's blue can be seen plainly from here. The air is fresh and the sky is sparked with white clouds. It is absolutely breathtaking, and yet that strange feeling again. Perhaps it is the hot breeze that continues to blow from the north. Hotter than I would have imagined, it almost singes my skin, and I feel quite uncomfortable when it comes. I will try to ignore it. Night has almost arrived and the sunset is spectacular. Oranges and reds have settled above the western horizon.
Come on, put some emotion into it. Come on, this person's describing a beautiful vista. Put some soul into it.
Okay. Though night has come, the horizon still glows red long past the sunset. Dark red clouds... just entered a word there. Dark reds flow from the horizon and blend into the black sky. Again the feeling. And I am beginning to believe it is not all in my mind. I must sleep now. I will need my strength to explore more tomorrow. I have had to return home due to an unpredictable natural occurrence more frightening than I have ever experienced. I was awakened by terrible shakings in the ground and explosions on all sides of me. Gigantic balls of fire were falling from the sky and I immediately left in fear of my life. I must remember to bring a Myst linking book with me when I return, in case the one left there has been destroyed or damaged.
It would be unfortunate.
I have returned to a different world than the one I left only 3 months ago. It has been transformed into a barren desert land with only gigantic craters scattered across the land to provide variety. Strangely enough, the small grassy hill where I spent my first night remains exactly the way I found it. Apparently, the falling meteors did not hit this area, leaving an oasis in the midst of this horrible desolation. The hot wind, I remember, has turned into a rather pleasant breeze, which is at least one improvement. I fear it is the only improvement. The magnificent lake I saw on my first visit is now completely dried up. However, another lake now exists and appears to be quite a bit larger. I assume one of the falling meteors created this lake due to its circular shape and the jutting rock that grows out of the centre of the lake. The rest of this world seems like desert, although I will verify that statement with closer inspection. Though this world has little visual excitement to offer, it offers much to the ears. Sounds constantly throw through my ears, and I have found where a few of them originate. It seems, as Kathryn says, I do find beauty in everything. Last night I was awakened by a horrible hissing.
Yes, hissing.
Hissing.
Not kissing, hissing.
Typography. I was sweating.
It's low resolution, give him some credit.
I was sweating, and the heat was so intense that I immediately dipped my head in a nearby stream to cool it down.
Maybe it was a horrible kissing if he's feeling this sort of heat. Whoa.
Ooh. The hot breezes had returned, along with the hot breezes had returned, along with a low roar from the ground. I walked a short distance to observe some red flames shooting up from the earth. Suddenly, the ground began to crack and a huge chasm opened. The chasm continued to grow until it was far too wide to cross. Then, the tumult subsided, leaving only a dull roar. I have decided, however, I can use the chasm to my advantage. Perhaps the heat from the chasm can be harnessed. This is a very long book.
You chose to start reading.
Oh, he's drawn a little diagram. Look.
Yeah. You'll find that Atrus is very good at putting in such things.
Even as the chasm has ripped into the surface of this world, it has opened up a whole new world to explore. Although uncomfortably hot, I found it possible to reach a cave in the chasm that had been created. And now, explored deep into the crust of this planet, I have found a vast underground cave system that will take many years to map and explore. I will also look for a safer way to reach the underground than through the chasm wall. This age seems to change on its own, so I feel I should leave again and see if things are different. When I return, it is also important that I check on Sirius and I can't say his name? Akana, and make sure everything is going along well. When I return, I also hope to bring back some tools I will need for my plans to explore the underground. The abundance of raw materials here is beginning to amaze me. I have returned with some of the complex tools I knew I would be needing. I assumed I would have to return for more basic materials. However, it seems as though I will be able to find everything I need here. Everything I need here. Of course, iron is abundant, but I've also found titanium occurring naturally. I am all the more excited to begin work. Everything is set and I look forward to tomorrow. My raw materials are all here. I think I will be able to have most of my additions to this age completed within 1 year. I so love working with my hands, whether writing or building. I began today on the bridge, and although the ...
It's not ... It's
something
just,
something like magnetic something will work, and well, I have decided. 3 meters is not enough support for the beams, although amazingly strong. Then he's drawn a rocket. Has to be one of the most prized inventions. I'm extremely... never have imagined it to come together. I doubt it possibly work with 14 instead of 8. Just gonna write that down. Completely fatigued. I'm so happy to have completed something tomorrow. I am leaving today in order to bring back Cirrus and Achenar. I have left them alone in Channelwood. I believe they will enjoy all there is to see there. The age seems to have stabilised. I believe the meteors set off a period of volcanic activity by piercing into the shallow crust, but the tremors have become few. I have just noticed that a large amount of this journal has curiously vanished from the very pages on which I wrote over the last 18 months. Fortunately, I have copied many of my construction notes in another journal. I do not understand the many mysteries of this world, but I trust I will discover logical answers to my questions. I have a feeling that many of my questions can be answered in another age to which I hope to travel soon. But for now, I must simply accept this world's mysteries and take pride in my accomplishments. I don't think I've read anything out loud in years.
Would you believe that it is a bit harder to read words out loud for an extended period of time than a lot of people would give it credit for?
I have a whole new appreciation for people who do audiobooks now.
I have a video that's 2 hours long where I read the entire story in Armacrog.
3.
And of course my Choose Your Own Adventure books, where they play through the Forest of Doom and the Caverns of the Snow Queen. Snow Witch? A nice little keyboard there.
Oh.
Good start.
I want to just take a picture of it.
That would be cheating.
It would be cheating. I have to draw this. Sorry guys, might take me a minute.
That's fine.
We will put in some...
Through the glory of editing, I can just put in a screen that says, 5 minutes later.
Awesome.
Believe me, I've had to use those in the past.
Oh, I cannot draw keyboards. Okay.
I mean, you don't really need to draw the whole thing, do you?
Okay, we have now got a...
It's a work of art. Look at that, it's beautiful.
Really...
So, I wouldn't want to be the person who has to play that extremely wide mid-C.
Wait, they may have a gigantic thumb.
Maybe.
Okay. Right. Oh, that's a picture.
It is a
It's
picture.
a map. Oh no, come back.
So this is Atrus's library. What's left of it. And yes, these books do contain useful information, like that keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
And map. But as you can see, only a couple of these books have survived. You want me to read the next one? Or are you just going to skim? Alright guys, pause the video if you want to read it.
Oh no, I'm just... Oh, right, we will read. You can read.
Yeah. If you don't want to read through it, it's fine.
No, I do, because otherwise I'll just sit
Okay.
here and I'll just read.
I have called this age Channelwood, and it is a very different world. Though it is exactly how I imagined it, it is still amazing to see it with my own eyes. Water covers this age as far as I can see, except for a small rocky island. Elsewhere, there are only trees, which grow directly out of the water. A myriad of thin wooden passageways are built just above the water and disappear into the forest. I assume they were built some time ago, for they appear aged. I am eager to discover more about this land and its people, but I've arrived here late and I must rest. He does a lot of resting.
I also like the deep Then.
I was awakened this morning by strange noises coming from a pathway adjacent to the one on which I had slept. Probably not a good idea to just sleep on a random pathway. I saw a group of monkey-like people heading... That... 2019, guys. Heading my direction. They had not seen me yet. I did not feel threatened by their presence. Their response to me was one that I would have never expected.
Why 2019?
Well, if we want to have monkey-like people, it's not a bad thing. Just because you see a group of monkey-like people heading towards you, doesn't mean that there's necessarily going to be some sort of altercation.
Oh, okay.
You can't read because that's the end of the page, and you're in control of the mouse. After staring at me for a short time, they fell to their knees and began what appeared to be some sort of ceremonial worship. I tried to speak to them, but they did not understand my language. Instead, they indicated, through enthusiastic hand motions, that I was to follow them. As we walked, I began to notice that the waters below us were changing colours. Slowly, subtly, they would change from deep blue to muddy orange, then from muddy orange to beautifully clear. I was so intrigued by the water, I had hardly noticed that we had arrived at a ladder. Climbing the ladder led us to their village, which is about 10 metres above the water, and can only be reached by rope ladders that stretch from the lower parts to the village level approximately halfway up to the grand trees. Commas, Atrus. It is very interesting watching these people carry out their daily tasks. Even after watching them for hours, I did not understand exactly what. Wow.
Oh, I closed the book.
Wow. Professionalism.
There we go.
They were doing. At sunset, they motioned for me to follow them. I followed the creatures to the doorway of an enormous hut. Strangely, once inside, I found that the hut appeared even larger than it had from the outside. Walls were garnished with bright metals, and in the centre of the hut sat the leader of these people. At least he appeared to be their leader, for he sat a metre off the floor in a thick throne. In a thick throne?
How do you have a thick throne? Is it
I mean,
like, oh, that's
I'm
thick?
Concerned that he's in the throne rather than on the throne.
That's true, he's just like, kill me.
It's just as bad a writer as you.
Oh, okay.
Guards
wait,
surrounded the
okay,
strong
stop
creature, who was
recording,
dressed in
just-
many exotic, colourful fabrics. Next to the leader sat a very old human. At least to some extent he appears human. Is he a monkey? Is he human? What is this? His hair, which was only on his face and head, so hair, almost white, and hung very long around his frail body. His thin head hung limply by an almost grotesque neck that could not hold its head up to look at me. But what a surprise! This creature could speak my language. Shortly thereafter, I was given a bed with some hand motion. I was given a bed with some hand motions that looked to be telling me to go to sleep.
The bed has hands, it's like, come to bed.
I
Oh, I did it again.
just can't get the staff. I look forward to learning more. As I suspected, the ancient creature is a human, but he is old beyond his own reckoning, and seems almost insane. However, the tree dwellers almost revere him as a god. They are treating me now in the same fashion, which makes me feel very uncomfortable. It is almost impossible to understand this old man. His voice is feeble but wild. He has adopted much of the language of the tree dwellers. He himself told me that he has not spoken our own tongue in ages. He attempted to explain to me the history of this place. The following is my best translation of what he has told me. Many years ago, the humans and...
No,
Okay.
just no.
The humans and tree dwellers lived together in this place. Actually, no, he's old and wild.
Yeah.
Many years ago, the humans and tree dwellers lived together in this place, which was then a vast island. They interacted very little. The humans dwelt on the ground, and the tree dwellers lived in the trees. That's why we called them tree dwellers, don't you know? They lived high above the humans, in the trees. Occasionally, the island was disturbed by mysterious rumblings, which happened randomly. Some sort of tectonic or volcanic action, I suspect. The sometimes slight, sometimes heavy tremors would only last a short time. Then they would stop, allowing everything to return to normal. That's your bed, by the way. One day, things changed. The rumbling began and grew quickly to unprecedented levels. Soon it became apparent that the entire island was sinking slowly into the ocean around them. Many of the humans died that day. for they could not swim. But not before sacrificing themselves in order to stop the sinking of the island. The humans who lived through the catastrophe moved into the trees, where they gradually died out. Maybe because they were unequipped for such an environment.
They just kept falling out.
Maybe we ate them a little, but I am not sure. This is the story This is the story the old man communicated to me. Although many details are very unclear in my mind, I am especially confused as to how humans saved the island from completely sinking. Yeah, you and us both.
Yeah.
In fact, I doubt the accuracy of that part of the story. The island must have stopped on its own, yet the old man believes the truth of the story as if he had been there, and the tree dwellers worship him, and apparently all humans, as if he, strike that, they were heroes or gods. The old man ended our conversation today with an event which I will never forget. He began gripping my hands tightly, murmuring something about rest and asleep. He then said, "We had expected you to come sooner." These actions filled me with a sort of immediate dread. With much effort, he stood to his feet. I tried to help, but he pushed me away with more force than I imagined his frail body contained. He's going Palpatine on his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Tree dwellers quietly surrounded him with very solemn faces. They then kneeled before him. He walked to each and placed his hand on their heads. All the while he murmured words which I did not understand. Finally he turned to me and smiled. Then he closed his eyes and walked out the door and off of the narrow path, high in the trees.
Wait, you just go like...
The tree dwellers were silent. They began a procession down the nearest rope ladder. As I was descending, I saw several of them pick up the body.
Oh, he actually did jump on. What the heck?
He had fallen onto a lower level of walkway, and carry it away. He was laying down at the dead end of a short pier-like structure. With the use of some potion, one of the tree creatures lit the pier on fire, and I watched as the flames engulfed him and the entire forest. As this strange funeral proceeded, the waters around the pier changed to dull green.
I love that this guy's not at all shocked that this old man just sort of walked off a pier and died. It's just, he's very factual about it. Well, he walked off, he died, then they set him on fire.
It's not like he's writing it at the moment.
Yeah,
he's obviously had like hours to think about it. And
some, you know, empathy and...
He's being empathetic.
Like, oh god, he did.
Well, you wouldn't write that in your diary. He's a scientist, not a fiction writer. This morning I awoke, finding it hard to even believe the previous... See?
Oh, okay,
See?
yeah, so there's a bit of shock
If you hadn't
there,
just stopped
so...
me and just carried on.
I jumped
The water
gun
is a
there,
dull
guys,
green
sorry.
for as far as I can see now. For some reason the water no longer shifts colour. As I wander throughout the pathways, the creatures watch me, curious to see what I will do next. They are constantly... what you would do?
Yeah.
Have one. They are constantly offering me strange objects of affection. I even found food outside the doorway to the room in which I had slept. This is a unique race of beings. I hope to learn their language soon, that I may learn more from them. I have lived on this world for 3 months off and on, and the tree dwellers have shown great hospitality. I am even beginning to learn bits of their language. I have decided to return home for an extended stay with my loving wife, and my sons, and hopefully return with them. However, I am sure Kathryn will once again refuse. He just wants to take you to see his monkey people.
Yeah.
I think this...
Him. Us. Eat
He's
the
been
children.
there for 3 months. I think they're going to eat him. They might have pulled that trigger by now.
Fattening them up.
I think this age would be a wonderful experience for them all, and I at least look forward to how Cirrus and Akanar will react to its curious inhabitants. Oh, and he's using, like, green ink for this page.
Ooh.
Special writing.
Mm-hmm.
Kathryn is staying behind as expected. My sons have returned with me and they enjoy this age very much. They get along very well with the tree dwellers and are picking up their language surprisingly fast, as children do.
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubt, I assume... I actually don't know how old Cirrus and Akanar are at this point. Probably young. I mean, yeah. I have no doubt that it will not be too long until they can speak with the tree dwellers much better than myself. I am leaving tomorrow to check on Osmoian?
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 I'd say Osmoian.
To check on Osmoian age.
No.
Cirrus has suggested that I allow him and his brother to stay. Though the idea unsettles me, I know the boys are growing up rapidly. Okay, they're young.
Yeah.
The hospitality of these creatures is such that I could think of no better place to leave them alone for a short while.
Just leave your children with some strange...
So I will consent to their
creatures?
request. I warn the boys not to take advantage of the respect the tree dwellers here have for their ideas. They seem to understand my warning, and I have faith that they will follow it. Much to my dismay, upon arriving in Everdunes, I learned that Pran and her people are continuing to be menaced by the Choctic. Count Chocula. I fear for their survival, and plan on returning to her shortly after checking on Cirrus and Akanar here. The Everdunes Journal for more information. Another journal.
He's writing it for somebody else. It's like, go here, have a look at this journal. So he needs a bit more information.
He's writing to himself, surely. He's putting a cliff note saying that if you need more information, then reference page 22.
I don't know.
After watching Cirrus and Akanar, I see they are handling things very well, and I think I can put to rest any fears about leaving them in Channelwood again.
Whoa!
Whoa, getting crazy with the colours now, Atrus. And
this
for a
might
little
mean
longer
something.
time.
So we had some green. Now we've got some purple. I don't know if this means anything. I might be reading into it. Red.
Tree dwellers seem slightly distressed that I am leaving, but are happy that Cirrus and Akanar are staying behind again. I have been gone for over 3 days, and have been to many different places. I had to tell Cirrus and Akanar about Pran's death today, and they were visibly shaken, although they only remembered her from their childhood. Kathryn has suggested that it would be wise for Cirrus and Akanar to leave Channelwood for a while, and I have to agree. They will be returning with me when I leave again. I have told my sons that they will be returning with me in 2 days. They spent the entire night telling me of an adventure they experienced in my absence, and it was rather remarkable. It seems they constructed a boat with the creatures and travelled some ways out into the surrounding waters. I enjoy hearing them talk excitedly of their adventures, and reminded of my own adventures as a child.
Green.
I finally understand why the tree dwellers have been giving me their many inks and insisting I write with them. Looking through some of my past entries, I see now that the inks have changed from the black I thought they were to various different colours. I have shown some of the creatures my journal, and they laughed and howled. I did not know how they had such a sense of humour. Even now, as I look through this very colourful journal, I cannot help but laugh myself. We will be returning tomorrow, so my sons are with the creatures for the last night here. They have told me they would like to come to Channelwood again, and also asked if they can visit some of the other ages alone. I will have to think over their request. I believe they have proven to me that they are trustworthy and responsible. Kathryn will also have to help me decide whether they are ready for travel alone, for now I must give my farewells to the creatures, for I do not know how long it will be until I visit this age again.
Got a future bridge to put in. Their weird treehouse.